Greetings and welcome to Zord's Aerial Space Program episode 3. Today we're going to continue along our path of progression towards space using space planes. You remember last week we got a suborbital flight, or rather an orbit, but it wasn't a stable orbit. So this week I'm trying to get a full legit orbital flight using a space plane. So to accomplish this, I experiment with a number of different designs. This is the first one, having expanded the plane to make it significantly bigger, because ultimately we also want to carry cargo into space. And yeah, we're taking off and we're actually going upwards, which is a good sign. So here we are, at altitude of something like 10 kilometers. We're soon to pass the sound barrier. And you will in a few seconds see the problem that have been plaguing me trying to get this to work. Yeah, you can see it here. I'm pitching up max and the aircraft is going down, slightly down. It's pitching down on its own. And this happens as soon as I cross the sound barrier. And the only way to recover is to drop your speed below Mach 1, as you will see here. And there we go. And this, of course, can have very interesting results when the aircraft suddenly regains all of its pitching power and it just breaks apart. So, we try again. We have a significantly, or not significantly altered design, but there are a few problems, such as flying into the runway lights. Not a very successful takeoff, this one. And just for good measure, the whole thing explodes before it crashes into the water. But anyway, we continue on, and this design have wings on the wings to make it the idea here is that these wings will make it not pitch down as hard when it gets supersonic. We'll see how that goes. The first stage is complete in that we managed to take off. But it's behaving sort of like a bird in that it's flapping. But this ceased once we got up to lower density atmosphere. So you see we passed Mach 1 just there, and we're pitching down. Yeah, I can see in the editor the theorem giving me stability derivatives, so I can see which value makes the aircraft behave this way, but it's really hard to change that to a value that will make it not pitch down. And yeah, for good measure, the aircraft explodes once it gets out of control. One way to try and mediate the effects of this pitching down is to add these wings on the back, like a tail fin. And this is not a completely alien idea. After all, most aircraft have fins behind the wings. So why shouldn't I have that? And these actually help a lot according to the editor. So we'll see how it goes. I'm optimistic about this, but the wings aren't as optimistic as I am, so they choose to not come along for this particular flight. Now, having only one of these is significantly worse than having none at all. As you can see, the aircraft doesn't quite make it up to the altitude or the speed I would have wished it to. So we try again with a design that hopefully will not fall off. It's supposed to have a lower drag and more struts connecting it to the rest of the aircraft. So we'll see how it goes. As always, the first thing is to take off. You'll notice the curvature of the upper pair of wings changed between designs. I'm trying to find something that is stable and good. Okay, so we have the wings and we have the tail fins. So okay, we do no longer have the tail fins. Well, we'll try without. I mean, last time we flew without some improvements and it worked okay. I suspect very much what kind of problems this aircraft will have. That is, when we pass Mach 1, it's going to be earthbound, so to say. And there we go. And yes, it's like clockwork. I mean, I'm not a aircraft engineer, so I don't fully understand what's going on, but it's got to do with the, what you call it, the flight envelope, the way the air moves over or around the body of the aircraft, which is significantly different if you have supersonic speeds due to the pressure waves generated by the object. I think it's something like this. But this time we try to correct, or rather see if it at all works to correct with a lot more speed, igniting rocket engines. But the only thing that happens is that we get ourselves into a stall and start to spin, and it turns out you cannot recover from that. Not with this aircraft, it's just completely impossible. So I'm just gonna save you the wait and tell you that it crashes into the ocean. So we tweak the design a little again, and hopefully this time we will get up into the air in one piece, that is. And yeah, the results are in, and it's a no. Again, having only one tail fin is significantly worse than having none at all, even if the aircraft is designed to have two. So yeah, I tried to shake it off, as I did last time, but it won't come off. So instead we should try to fly around and land. I mean, we don't have to explode every single time, but okay, apparently we do. Hey, wait, I can maybe save this if we can like crash on the landing gear, and okay, it won't pitch up. Alright, see you tomorrow, Jeb. Because he always comes back, you know. It's Jebediah the entire time. Speaking of Jebediah, here he is trying a new design. This aircraft is, well, to be honest, I just gave up with the other design. It obviously wasn't working, and the preferred method I have to problem solve in these cases is to remove everything that could cause problems and just reduce the design to its barest minimum. And this is not a redesign, this is a completely new design. But it has potential, I hope. Here we are now. We have gathered as much altitude as we can and as much speed as I feel we can get out of the unassisted jet turbines. And then I ignite the nuclear engine, running it at first half thrust limiter and then taking it up to full power. This is to assist the aircraft to get more air into the intakes and get more power out of the jet engines. So that I'm running a hybrid aircraft for a while, because the nuclear engine on its own is not powerful enough to push the aircraft to where it needs to be. Now the idea here is to get as much speed as possible so that you will sort of fly off into space on your own. And then we're out of jet fuel, so we're running on only nuclear power from here. So yeah, this is not looking very good. 700 meters per second. It's a long way to go, and we're not even out of half of the atmosphere. The pressure is exponential, but we're still pretty deep in the atmosphere. We're getting significant drag. But at least we're not pitching down, and I think it's the tail fins. I really think it's the tail fins that do the aerodynamic for this one. But yeah, you can guess how it worked. We passed the periapsis, or the apiapsis, and it just didn't go anywhere. So I'm trying a new design. This one is a lot more heavy on the rocket side, carrying 2 rocket engines with 1 jet engine instead of the other way around. We'll see if it flies at all. Well, yeah, okay, it looks like it's want to fly. It lifts the nose gear on its own, balancing on the middle wheels. We'll see. Come on. Yes. Yes, it flies. Come on. Up, please. Yeah, it's working, it's working. Okay, we'll fast forward until we are at altitude and speed. So this is Mach 0.7 and we are something like 12, 11 kilometers above sea level, that is. And we're kind of slow, but that's to be expected with a aircraft that has a low thrust to weight ratio like this one. We are approaching Mach 1. If we're unlucky, this aircraft will start to pitch down. And if it does, I'm out of ideas. Okay, Mach 1, and yeah, we're pulling max rudder and it's pitching down. Okay, so this episode just doesn't seem to work, does it? Hopefully by next week I'll have some new, actually good ideas. Maybe then the wings won't come off the aircrafts. But I thank you for watching this parade of failures, and I hope to see you again next week. Goodbye!